Hello, I'm Ed Fuqua, Young Adult Librarian Extraordinaire.
And I'm Miss Gabby from the West Side Hills Public Library.
Yep. I'm from the Young Adult Department, and one of the things I do here at the library is I'm in charge of the graphic novel section. Graphic novels are a big part of the library experience, and there's a lot of them that are available through the e-zone that you can order with your library card. I brought a small sample of them here to look at. We've discussed things before that you can get. Right now, we're talking about graphic novels. We already had a lengthy discussion of Harley Quinn.
We did.
And now we're going to move on to other characters from DC Comics. The top one I want to talk about most is Gotham Academy. Are you familiar with this?
I am, yes.
What do you think of it?
I think it's good. I like it a lot. I don't know, I think it was very nicely portrayed.
Yes, I liked it a lot. It's one of my favorites. I was very sad when it was canceled. They really should have kept it around.
Yeah.
Basically, Gotham Academy is set at a private school in Gotham City in the DC universe. So the cast is entirely young people, so it skews towards that young audience that comic books always want. It has a unique setting that really hasn't been used before. It's in Gotham City, but it's separate from the main city. It's very much a part of the DC universe, very tied into Batman's own mythology and so forth. Characters from the Batman universe, including Robin and Batman himself, pop up occasionally. The heroine of the book is Olive Silverlock.
Mm-hmm.
She's a girl whose mother was a supervillain and is actually locked up in Arkham Asylum and winds up being put into a coma after a horrible accident at the asylum. So she's tied in deeply with Batman's mythos, and even though her mother was a villain with like weird pyrokinetic powers and was very dangerous and unstable, she still blames Batman for arresting her mom and putting her in Arkham Asylum.
As she kind of would at the same time, though, because it's her family.
Yeah, Olive isn't a bad person, but she can't help resenting Batman. So naturally that puts them at odds when Batman shows up on a case in Gotham Academy.
Yeah.
It has a great cast of characters, longtime Batman characters. Man-Bat shows up, he's like their chemistry professor. Killer Croc lives in the sewers under the Academy because he promised Olive's mom he'd look out for her. So now she's got a supervillain living secretly, on campus. I think the book does a really good job of combining that sort of Harry Potter vibe with how things work in the DC universe.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Years ago when Japanese manga first started selling here in America, the manga took off. It was tremendously popular. And American publishers were scratching their heads going, why is this stuff so popular? A lot of the Japanese manga was similar to what American comic books put out, although most of them weren't about superheroes. But having a cast of young characters in a school setting and things like that are things that manga uses again and again and again. And so I'm not sure whether it was a conscious effort or whether it would just happen that way. This is a really good way of using the tropes, if you will, of Japanese manga into DC Comics setting. It didn't really sell that well.
Really?
No, but it got canceled. It made me very, very sad. It is a great book. The first 2 volumes of the graphic novels are available from the e-zone. You can also pick them up physically from the library once it opens up to people. The first one is called Welcome to Gotham Academy. It comes highly recommended. I really loved it. I really miss these characters.
Me too.
I even used them in a role-playing game that I wrote.
Did you really?
Yes, I wrote a Gotham City role-playing game. Actually, the characters had to go to Gotham Academy at one point.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
They're great characters. My other favorite character of all time is Wonder Woman.
Oh, I love Wonder Woman.
Yes.
She has such a great storyline.
Yes.
It's amazing.
You see the recent movie?
I haven't.
It's good. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
The movie is very well done. It sets her in World War I for some odd reason, but the actress is terrific. She's handled really well on camera.
Okay.
There's a lot of Wonder Woman out there. There are tons of graphic novels. We can do a whole thing talking about Wonder Woman. But I wanted to focus today on the stuff that's available through the e-zone that you can check out with your library card and your PIN number. This is Wonder Woman by Greg Rucka. He was one of the best writers to work on Wonder Woman. This is a couple of years old, but it establishes a really nice continuity for Wonder Woman. One of the issues with her is that no one really knows what to do with her as a character.
Yeah.
She comes from Themyscira, so she represents a whole people, and she also is technically a pacifist who spends most of her time fighting supervillains. There are big chunks of her character that don't really make sense. Plus, how exactly does a woman who literally worships the Greek gods fit in with modern 21st century America? I mean, she knows the Greek gods are real because she's actually seen them. She's met them. She's punched them in the face a few times, most of them. They made her lives miserable. So she knows the Greek gods are real. But like nobody else in America really goes along with that idea. So she's kind of an odd social place. And what Greg Rucka did was look at her as someone who is, she's described more than once in the comic books as being an ambassador to man's world. So in this one, she actually becomes an ambassador. She lives at an embassy. She handles diplomatic issues that crop up between her people and the rest of the countries of the world. She winds up writing an autobiography about herself. It becomes really controversial.
Wow.
She gets involved in all kinds of adventures, and they created an embassy staff of people that provide, supporting characters are all working on her embassy staff. She has a Minotaur who's her chef, works in the kitchens, this big, huge guy with horns and everything. He's a really great character. But yeah, he filled it up with interesting characters, gave her tons of interesting stuff to do. He gave her an actual reason to be in like a major city, a place to call home and things like that. His run on the book was absolutely fantastic. He was sorely missed. After they canceled the series and brought it back, and then they canceled it again and revived it, they brought him back to do more of the recent one. And he was allowed to tinker with the origin and come up with his own kind of take on it, but it didn't have quite the magic of his first run on the book. The first one, I think, was the best, in my opinion. So Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman is another one that comes recommended.
Once you put a stake so high, it's kind of hard to exceed that, honestly.
It is,
So-
yeah. It's DC has had an issue with their continuity lately.
Yeah.
They keep canceling all their books and bringing them back again. They had like a full reboot, then they had a soft reboot. I'm not even sure how many boots they're on now.
Oh, there's a lot.
It's-
Especially with the Batman series.
Yeah. Well, when Greg Rucka was brought back and he did Wonder Woman's New Origin, he did a great job. It was fantastic. But that was also the third Wonder Woman origin I'd seen in like a year and a half, not counting the movie, which was also yet another Wonder Woman origin.
Yeah.
And they're all more or less the same.
It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, it's very tricky. With Wonder Woman, everybody that takes over tries to go back and reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that. We do like probably a whole Wonder Woman show at some point. Other thing I wanted to bring to your attention, are you familiar with these graphic novels?
No, I'm not at all.
This one is Raven. There's a whole line of graphic novels coming out from DC Comics. DC wants to produce graphic novels for all people. They do ones for little kids, they do ones aimed at adults, they do ones aimed at like, the tween years. Raven is a popular character from Teen Titans. She was in the cartoon, she's currently in a
Amazing
series.
show. I grew up on that show.
Yeah. Flip through this, if you don't mind. What they're going for here is a style of art that doesn't look like normal superhero comic books. And they want something that would appeal to teenagers. So they happen to have an actual teenager here.
Yeah.
Do you find that more or less appealing than, say, a regular superhero book?
No, I think it looks like the graphics are great. First
Yeah,
of all.
it's terrific art.
Yeah.
But it does not have a superhero vibe
No, it
to
doesn't. It, like, I don't know. It feels very gloomy, which is
For Raven, that's perfect.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, the ones for other characters won't necessarily look like
But
that.
at the same time, though, I don't know. I feel like it matches like I don't know I don't know how to say like the aesthetic of the person, I guess.
Yeah, it fits Raven's character very well. It's very well done.
And then if you compare it to like the Wonder
Yeah.
Woman one,
Yeah, it lacks the bright, cheerful colors of
Yeah.
like a regular comic book.
yeah. So if I held up this
Yeah,
compared to like this page,
yeah.
you guys can kind of see.
Oh yeah, it's pretty obvious the difference. And another thing they want to have is they're still going after that elusive manga
Oh
market.
yeah, definitely.
So it looks more like a manga without really being drawn in a Japanese style, but it does resemble a manga somewhat.
Yeah.
And all the characters they're dealing with are female.
Yes.
They're going after that market too, and they're all young, they're all in school.
Which draws more kids in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're going after that elusive demographic that, in my opinion, they already captured with Gotham Academy,
Yeah.
and they're trying to capture it again. There's a whole set of them. There's Raven, there's Mira, there's a Beast Boy one that's done by the same team that did Raven.
Oh, Beast Boy is awesome.
Yeah. Now, they're all unique continuities. None of these have anything to do with versions of the character that you've seen before. They're obviously the same person, a lot of the same concepts are
Yeah.
there, but these are new versions. They want to make them stand alone so you don't have to have read any other book to enjoy it. They sort of take the character and plop them down in an original adventure.
Oh, so like in those things, like they don't know each other?
No.
Oh, wow.
This Raven is not a part of the Teen Titans. She's a teenage girl who's having like weird delusions and hallucinations
Yeah.
and weird inky blackness that's consuming her.
That's
you know.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really well done, and they've been popular. Whether they'll catch on in the long run or not, I don't know.
Okay.
So far, each of them has been standalone. And I said DC is trying to reach like every possible market. Another thing they're doing is they're going after like quote real books. This is an example. This Catwoman book is a novel. It's not a graphic novel. There are no pictures in it. It's the life story of Catwoman, but they have once again created a new continuity for her. This is Selena Kyle. We see her as a teenager growing up in Gotham, and in this one, she's like leader of a street gang that's mostly a benign gang. They're not like an evil street gang, but she draws the attention of Talia al Ghul and the League of Assassins, who sweep her away from Gotham in return for looking after her kid sister, and they train her to be an assassin. And she comes back to Gotham and turns on them and becomes her own independent person. Batman's not in the book. For some peculiar reason, Luke Fox is in the book as Batwing. Batman is literally out of town the entire story. You never meet Selena Kyle in this one. Go figure.
Wow.
It's also cool because Catwoman, Selena runs into Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, who in this version are also both starting out in their criminal career.
Yeah.
And the three of them, work together, just as they would in the graphic novel Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that a lot of authors think that those three belong together. It's written by Sarah Maas, who's done the really good Throne of Glass fantasy series. It's very popular. So it's a really nice take on the character. And speaking of nice takes on the character, we also have Wonder Woman Warbringer. Now, a lot of the teens in the state might have seen this because it was on the Rhode Island Teen Book Award list. It didn't win, but it's really good. It's written by Leigh Bardugo, who did the Six of Crows series, which actually won the Rhode Island Teen Book Award last year.
Oh, so at least she had a book. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a Wonder Woman book, and again, she starts out, Wonder Woman is a teenager, she's on Themyscira, and to buy the premise of this book, you have to buy the fact that prior to Steve Trevor crashing into the island, she actually left it as a teenager and had a whole adventure that was kind of covered up by the gods, so no one knew that it happened. She saves the life of a girl who washes up on the island, and the girl is suffering from a terrible curse that could plunge the world into a horrible war that will kill millions of people. So Diana has to follow her out of the island and enter man's world for the first time and get caught up in this whole huge adventure that has her being chased around the world and kind of falling for a guy and dealing with like heartbreak and treachery and people trying to kill her with guns for the first time in her life. It's very well done. It's when you're dealing with Wonder Woman at the time she leaves the island and comes to the regular world. She is very inexperienced. She knows nothing about how the world works. So she has to be naive, but she's not stupid. Diana is really, really smart. So making her intelligent but naive is like a really tricky thing to do. And I think they accomplished it in this. So that's Wonder Woman Warbringer. It's a novel. It's also available as an audiobook.
Yes.
Which are both available from the eZone, which you can order anytime you want. Those are my recommendations of stuff that's available electronically here in the Rhode Island Library System. And we'll talk more. This has been Book Talking. We'll do more next week about other cool topics. I have been Ed, the YA librarian.
And I'm Miss Gabby. And we'll see you next time.
Yep, take care. We'll see you again later. Bye.